Tom here from Findlay Downtown Toyota, answering the questions. Now, you may have heard about the third gen's back seat as far as room when you sit in it versus the fourth gen's back seat room, like when you sit in it. And a lot of people may have said, hey, the fourth gen's back seat is smaller. It feels smaller when I'm sitting in it. When you're actually sitting in the back seat and you're in there, maybe it feels a little smaller, but what about under the seat? What about putting cargo inside the cab so that that cargo can stay safe, not get wet, maybe it's sensitive? How much room do you have in the fourth gen versus the third gen? Well, let's find out. And let's take a look at how this works on the third gen. So on the third gen, this part of the seat goes up and folds up like this, if you didn't remember that. And then you've got this cover, which covers up your storage, which is kind of handy, but it does limit the amount of storage that you're going to be able to put there. So this is what it looks like on the third gen. Let's go over and take a look at a fourth gen and see how they differ. Okay, so here we are at the fourth gen Tacoma. Let's take a look at the back seat. Remember the configuration on the third gen, you grabbed it from back here and it went up from the back up to the front. You ended up filling in this well here. On the new fourth gen, they make it so that the front of the seat goes back up like this. And then you've got this cool clip, which is right here, that keeps the seat from falling back, which is really awesome. But what it does is it gives you a whole lot more room here than on the third gen. Coming back to the third gen, we look inside, and with this seat up, like we talked about, okay, so this is what it looks like. So now you've got the floor that you need to go ahead and load all your cargo. But remember, on the third gen, you have all of this to deal with. You've got to remember your cargo space goes from here to here, and then that's it. And then from here to here, and that's it. You've got to remember that this whole storage here, and then the back of the seat as it came down to create this floor, is something that's going to minimize how much room you can get in here. You've got all the room there, and you've got all the room there. So how much room is here to here is deceiving, because even though you've got this in the way, the amount of room that's between here and here is the same amount of room that on the third gen you would have between here and here. So you're not losing anything there from the third gen to the fourth gen, but you are losing the amount of room that you get from here all the way up. Now, Toyota says that the fourth gen truck has 3 times as much cargo under the rear seat cargo room as the third gen. Let's take a look. Holy smokes, there it is. Look at that. Not only do you have this whole well here, which is a lot deeper than on the third gen, but guess what? It goes all the way to the back here. Goes all the way back here. All of this is usable space. Look at that. On the fourth gen, as you did on the third gen. Let's go back to the third gen and take a look at that. Holy smokes, look at that. Super compromised. All this space not usable. And then who needs these covers anyway, right? I mean, for crying out loud. The seat's going to be over the stuff anyway. Why do you really need the covers? But there they are. Also kind of impeding. But this is the space. Holy smokes. That's it right there. My finger's right here, kind of on this little line here. I'll put my hand again. It's twice as much, and I'm still not touching the back. Still. So there it is. There's your under the rear seat cargo room. Huge, 3 times bigger on the fourth gen than it is on the third gen. Now you know, well, in this case, fourth gen better than third gen.